You are listening to an exclusive on Pod Hub Network. Your city, your podcast.
To the delight of this crowd, McClendon marches down the dugout steps with first base.
McCutcheon's throw. The runner breaks to the plate. Here's the throw. Wow. He is out. The Buccos win it. That ball's hit well to left center field. Back toward the track. And that ball is gone.
You are listening to the North Shore 9 podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, make sure to watch NS9 Live every Thursday on Twitch and help support by becoming a patron. Let's go Bucks!
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Starbucks. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we got Jim Rosati. Jim, happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day. You got any Memorial Day plans? I mean,
I really don't.
You don't?
I don't. My wife's working. I'm here doing a show for the people.
If I were you, I'd probably go to the beach. That would probably be what I would do.
Yeah. My elite coastal elitist.
You're a coastal elite. I feel like all of the elites need to go to the beach on Memorial Day. I feel like that's a good way to do it.
Yeah. That probably wouldn't be too bad of an idea. Probably gonna be pretty packed as well. But either way, yeah, I don't really have anything planned. How about yourself?
I think as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna throw my trunks on, go to the pool, and just get super sunburnt all day.
There you go. Sounds like a plan. And then are you going to make it? All that sun, I'm sure there's going to be drinks. Are you going to make it to the Dodgers game tonight, or are you going to be passed out before then?
I might have to take a nap.
Yeah.
But maybe like a 7 p.m. nap.
I can imagine.
Maybe like an hour long nap. Then I'll be good to go. Yeah, because that Dodgers game is going to be late. These Padres games were, even Friday or Saturday. My days are all messed up now. Saturday, the Bryan Hayes home run.
Yes.
I tried so hard to stay awake that whole game because I'd gone to the pool earlier that day too, and the pool just zaps you. I couldn't stay awake. I saw Dylan Peters get pulled, and then as soon as I saw Dylan Peters come out of the game in the 7th inning, I was like, I can't stay awake anymore. I was like, I need to go to bed.
Yeah, that's what's sad. I feel like a lot of people fell asleep during that game, which is understandable. I mean, it's a late game, obviously. It was later than Fridays even. But then, right, so all these people fell asleep. Bryan Hayes finally hits his first home run, and no one was there to see it. It kind of sucks. Yeah. But kudos to Charlie Hayes, who, because it was so late, ended up being hit on his birthday.
Yeah, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I woke up the next morning, checked my phone. I was like, oh, wait, Pirates won. And I was like, oh, Bryan Hayes hit a 3-run homer.
Right.
I was like, yeah, let me check this out. So, good for him. Finally got that monkey off his back. I mean, I know that. I'm sure that's been weighing him down a little bit, having to hit that first home run. I mentioned it. We were talking about it a little bit yesterday, but someone was saying that they feel like Bryan Hayes was just kind of seemed unlucky, right? And we had talked about it a little bit in past, but yeah, according to Hayes's StatCast page, as of yesterday, 5 of his hits were considered mostly gone. There were 3 or 4 ballparks where he would have 6 home runs in is what I saw. So it's kind of crazy. Just he's hit the ball hard in basically in the worst times, at the worst places. So it was nice to get the home run. He had another big hit yesterday, but hopefully we start seeing some power come through and we start seeing some balls hit over the fence.
Yeah, for sure. I just hope, like you said, he has been hitting the ball very, very hard. Finally gets an actual home run. So something shows up in the box score finally that, you can feel good about. Yeah, I mean, good for Bryan. I just, it sucks right now too because he's, his rookie year, he was doing this. Last year, of course, was injury, so it wasn't so much. And he's back to like his rookie year, but we're not seeing the ball go over. And it's like, and you think about like this is now the new baseball where it's dead, and it's like, of course, it's affecting Brian Hayes. But really, like when you look at his numbers and like you look what he's doing, he's so similar to like that rookie season, which was just off the charts. And so it's nice to see that. Now, again, like it hasn't resulted into like actual stats as far as like home runs in the box score and such. But they'll come, hopefully, like, Saturday, which again, that was also at Petco in the evening. So
right. Yeah.
For that to go out, that had been smashed.
But I mean, you look at his profile and his StatCast profile and just kind of like how he's swinging. His whole page is red. It's full of red. Red means good. Like it means he's near the top of the league in virtually every single category. So it's just like you look at his stats and he's sitting there right now with a 119 weighted runs created plus, and he is one home run.
Yeah.
So like some people I feel like are like, I don't know if they're down on him or what, but it's like I look at that and I'm like actually really encouraged. I'm like, if he can be 19% above average and only have one home run, like I know there's more there. So like this just makes me even more optimistic about Brian Hayes' future outlook, and that, hey, I mean, if he can do this and he's not even hitting the ball over the fence yet, because like it's gonna come, like it's going to happen. He hits the ball too hard for balls to not go over the fence. So like at some point it's gonna happen. And if he's doing this right now, like I can't wait to see him like once he kind of like gets it all together. I think there's nothing but optimism right now when you look at Brian Hayes, what he's done so far, what his future looks like. I mean, if you look at the most similar batter to him so far this season, it's Tommy Edman. Guess what Tommy Edman's doing? He's in like a 2.5 WAR season so far, right? But like they're like almost exactly similar if you look at their profiles. So I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged with Brian Hayes.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot not be encouraged by him, I would say. Like, yeah, it's disappointing to the fact that he's not hitting the home runs, but it's not as if it's because he's a bad player. Like it's like it's really unlucky. I mean, people see it, right? And if they're not seeing it, we're telling you. But right, like you're correct. I mean, it's encouraging because he is hitting the ball well, and that's what I want to like allude to. Like if you look at especially like the StatCast stuff, right? If you look at his rookie season, which again, like when he got called up, we were just floored by what he was doing because you knew the glove was there. What was the talk about Brian Hayes? Well, if he can just be an average hitter, the glove will like get him 3 WAR. And we saw that rookie season, and we were like, wait, maybe there's more to Brian Hayes than we think. Now, last year, the offense wasn't really there, but we know how those injuries lingered like pretty much all season for him. So, coming this season was like, so what is Brian Hayes? And that's the thing. Like when you look at him this year, it's almost right on par, everything to what he was doing his rookie season. So like to me, that makes me believe that, maybe last year was more due to the injury and everything opposed to like what Brian Hayes is. And maybe this is more, and if even it's in between those two, that's a really good player. Because as you brought up, if you want to talk about in between, if you use the rookie season and if you use most of last year, well, all of last year, which is part of a season we're saying, he's like as you said, he's a 5 WAR player in 150 games. And that's including those bad parts. So it's like, even if he's in between the two, that's a 5 WAR player talking about. And I'm looking at this and saying how I think this is more of what Brian Hayes is. So like you said, I'm very encouraged because what if 2 more of those home runs or 2 more of those balls end up being home runs, right? Like you said, instead of 6, it's only 3 that's out in like every park.
Yeah, I mean that's the encouraging part here is he just hits the ball so dang hard that you can't be down on him. Like he crushes the ball.
I mean, truth be told, I'm sorry to say, look, I'm looking at the StatCast now because I didn't look at it since after this weekend. And like his expected batting average right now is actually better than his rookie year. His expected slugging is better than his rookie season. So actually at this point in time, he's outdoing what his rookie year was.
No, I mean he's absolutely crushing the ball, and like it's just a matter of time before some of these go over the fence. I mean, he would have 5 or more home runs if he were playing all of his games in the Angel Stadium, Astros, Rangers, White Sox, Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Rockies, Brewers, Reds. He'd have 5 or more home runs in all of those stadiums. PNC Park too. Yeah,
of course. As Pirates fans, it's like they're not cursed as it is. They have to have that home park, right, and have Bryan Hayes not be able to hit out of it. But everywhere else,
yeah. So yeah, very very encouraging. And I don't even think we meant to talk about Hayes too much today, but he's just fine, just fine.
I mean, as you brought up, Jim, you don't want to do every show and then be negative and talk about the negative, right? So you got to talk about Bryan Hayes because there's a lot of positive to talk about with Bryan Hayes, and you enjoy talking about Bryan Hayes. So there you go.
Yeah, it's fun to talk about things that you're happy about,
right?
And Bryan Hayes brings me joy.
So we're going to talk about Bryan Hayes all day long, nothing else. No, we can talk about somebody else actually.
Yeah, there's one other person I guess we could talk about. Yeah.
But wait, there's one more. Roansy Day yesterday got his second start of the season. I know you weren't here last week when we talked about a little bit with Tyler, like his first start. But the first start was good. So now we have the second start. And like, what a matchup. Him going against Mackenzie Gore, a fellow rookie from the Padres who's having an outstanding season so far. I think we brought him up last week because if we're talking about rookie of the year, he's probably sliding up in there, maybe that top 2. So yeah, Roansy versus Mackenzie Gore. Great matchup. What are your thoughts on Roansy's day?
It was a lot like his first start. Like I went back and watched a little bit of his first start. And I guess we'll start off with the positive here, and that's his fastball. It's really good. Like it's a really good fastball. He's throwing it about 97 miles per hour. And he hasn't even
the eyes if you're
97, 98, but around 97 average, 96.9 is his average fastball right now. It is a really good pitch. Like hitters are having problems with it. He's showing pretty good command of it as well. But it is by far his best pitch. Slider looked pretty good too. I guess if I had one knock on him, it's like that his third and fourth pitches, he just needs to command a little bit better. He rarely ever throws that changeup. He's thrown 11 of them on the season, and the changeup is what ended up the one mistake he made yesterday. He threw that changeup right down the middle to Profar, and Profar made him pay with the 2-run homer. But 5 innings, 2 runs, and again, not really having your best secondary stuff. I think and I tweeted it out yesterday, it's so refreshing to see, because we haven't I mean, in all honesty, when was the last time we've had I'm not talking about a serviceable pitcher. I'm not saying a Tyler Anderson or Jose Quintana. I'm talking about a good pitcher. It's been since it's been a while. And it's so refreshing to see somebody not have their A game, right? Because yesterday was not Contreras' A game. His first start wasn't even his A game, but he's still able to get the job done. 5 innings, 2 runs. He was on a really strict pitch count yesterday. I think they pulled him after 76 pitches. Because I think it was his first time going on 5 days rest all year. 5 days rest seems like a lot to me, but whatever. I'm I'm not the one making the decisions.
I understand. I just want to point and highlight again, though. I will say, if there's one person I don't care about being ultra conservative with, it is Roansy.
It is frustrating though when you see like Mackenzie Gore go 7, and it's like we gotta pull Roansy after 76 Jim, pitches.
Like, listen, this goes back to Thursday. If Mackenzie Gore goes down, the Padres have like 13 other capable starters right now in their possession. If Roansy goes down, the Pirates' future is canceled.
You're right. You're right. I mean, they've got to be extra careful with them, but at the same time, like. Yeah, I don't know. And I listened to like what Tyler was saying it on Thursday. Like Roansy doesn't really look like that prototypical like workhorse starting pitcher, right? So like how many innings can he realistically throw in a year? I don't know. We don't really know the answer to that question yet. So yeah, they're going to be pretty safe with him. There's really, you're right. There's not a reason to push him. It's just when you're like in the heat of the moment and you're watching him, it's like, I would like to see more of him, you know?
And I totally, I get that, but
again, fastball completely plays. Like it is an elite pitch at the major league level. Like it's really good. Slider solid. He just got, like I said, if it's the changeup. I mean, the curveball he doesn't throw too often, and when he does, it's fine. But he could locate it a little bit better. But if he can get that changeup down to be like a lethal weapon against lefties, he's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. But so far, his issue with the changeup has just been locating it. But again, he's 22 years old.
Yeah.
So let's have him throw a little bit more, see what happens. But no, nothing but good things to say really about Contreras. Like I said, he kept the team in the game yesterday. The offense was completely inept against Mackenzie Gore. They couldn't do a single thing. I think Gore looked good, but I don't think Gore looked that good. First off, we had to play all these lefties because half our team is hurt, and they just have all these lefty bats who suck. So you're playing all these lefties against Mackenzie Gore, and they're just swinging at sliders that are like 4 feet outside. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, I've never gone up against a major league slider. I'm sure it's very difficult, but like, come on, guys. They were not even close to some baseballs yesterday. It was a pathetic offensive performance all around against Mackenzie Gore.
Yeah. No, I just want to say that too. Like that's one thing. Like we were excited for this matchup because it's young prospects that are having good seasons. You know, of course, we're Roansy Contreras, Mackenzie Gore. But let's be honest. The lineups did them both some favors, right? Like even for the Padres, it wasn't like the best lineup they've put out there. Machado was out even, you know. And then of course the Pirates. I mean, it's not good to begin with, and they're like, well, let's find a way to make it even worse, and they did. So Mackenzie Gore had a very nice outing, you know, very very easy pace. I'm not gonna say I put some financial decisions on Mackenzie Gore yesterday because of it, but. I put some financial decisions on Mackenzie Gore yesterday.
Very, very smart. Like very smart.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, both lineups kind of did both of them a little bit of favors too. Definitely more in Mackenzie Gore's favor.
Yeah, it was rough to see. I mean, first off, Tyler Heineman, he had his first hit yesterday. So congrats to him. But like between. And we'll get to Cal Mitchell here later on, but like Cal Mitchell, between Mitchell, Sawinski, VanMeter, and then Bryan Reynolds and Castro and Diego Castillo, no one looked good. No one looked good against them. Even Hayes didn't do anything against them either. I mean, the whole lineup. Really, Tucupita Marcano had that one little dribbler for a hit off of him. that was like vintage Tucupita Marcano. And I think there was just one other hit. I think the other hit was Heineman, like a little like bloop single to right field. So Heineman and Marcano were the only 2 hits against Mackenzie Gore.
Can I bring up something, by the way, too? Yeah. I didn't realize this. And now, I feel bad not remembering who pointed out. And I didn't look up when they pointed out on Twitter yesterday either. I was like one of those things like, oh my God, that really happened, but I never did. And I'm looking at it right now and it's true. So Heineman's hit yesterday was the first hit by a Pirates catcher in 12 days. Don't laugh.
That's so bad.
Since Michael Perez's hit against the Cubs on May 17th. That was the first Pirates catching hit. So congratulations, Heineman, on your first hit and the Pirates' first in 12 days.
You know what's incredible is, and I looked this up at some point last week because I was like, this is going to be maybe the worst team catching performance ever, like this year. And so I looked up, I was like, where is this ranking? Like, how bad is this compared to other teams? And the Pirates aren't even the worst team yet when it comes, like, they're actually not even close to the worst hitting catchers in the league. And that just boggles my mind. The Houston Astros right now, collectively, their catchers have a 32 weighted runs created plus. 32 weighted runs created plus. They're hitting 120. Houston catchers hitting 120. Pirates catchers are hitting 155. They're a whole 35 points better. 216 on base percentage for Houston catchers. Pirates are at 251. And the Pirates catchers are out slugging Houston by 44 points. It's just incredible because I was like, these have to be the worst catchers in the league. No, there are 3 teams with worse catchers right now than the Pirates. I would anticipate that one of those 3, they just called up the number 1 prospect in baseball. So yes, they may move a little bit. Baltimore is currently down there as well. But yeah, I saw that and I was just like, holy crap. And then you look at just the entire league, catchers top to bottom. It's pathetic. It is pathetic. This has to be the worst. This has to be the worst. Like, we're in the age of just awful catchers right now. There's like 5 good catchers in the major leagues.
Well, one of them just retired out of nowhere last year, and Buster Posey.
Right.
So that doesn't help.
Like where are they? Like this, there are 7 teams that have above average hitting out of their catcher position. 7 out of 30.
Yeah, it's not good. And it's funny is, so I'm looking at this too, and I know you've mentioned it, right? But I've never dived myself into it. And yeah, like Houston is so bad. But like you would think, okay, well, it's also Houston and they're smart. Like they've it's not that you had like these catchers that have like killed it, but they've always had like really, really good defensively, right? And they're really not that either. Like they're all just straight -4. That kind of sucks for the Astros.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
But anyway, yeah, catching sucks. But at this point in time too, I just feel like you're saying, things will kind of normalize. It's not that, being 27th in the league is like, hey, we're not last. It's still very, very bad. But right, like the tandem we have right now for this team is not so good. Like I feel like Roberto Perez is still kind of carrying a little bit into these numbers, and that's going to go away really quickly. And right, like the Baltimore is going to probably shoot up once, obviously like gets a little bit better, and the White Sox. Grandal's going to come back a little bit, right? Like he's going to start hitting some home runs, you would think. So yeah, it's probably going to get worse. But anyways, regardless, yeah, where were we going with that? Oh, the catcher's not having a hit since May 12th.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. That's impressive. Like that's hard to do. Do you think? And then this is just because I think it was Mackey tweeted it out yesterday that how bad the catchers were, and maybe something's going to be done. Like, are they going to do anything about this? Are they going to do anything about that at all? Do you think
they did? Heineman's here. Where are we going with this? What do you think they're going to do? Like the team
I don't
traded
know.
Jacob Stallings and Bryan Roberto Perez, right? which to each their own on that. But regardless, if you're going to do that, you are going to get yourself pretty decent insurance with a backup catcher, right? Because Roberto Perez is, again, has caught 79 games more than once. I'm sorry. Yeah, more than once. So with that being said, you probably have a decent backup catcher, and they had Andrew Knapp. Great. Well, Andrew Knapp's gone. Now it's Heineman and Perez. I mean, they only had 2 catchers on the 40-man to begin the season with. Like, why would they do any more now? This was the plan. It's been executed flawlessly.
Yes. I just don't know how you can continue to opt. I know that you're not even really trying. You're clearly not trying to win games, but can you honestly accept? Can you accept this? How long can you give playing time to Michael Perez and Tyler Heineman?
Well, you have Josh VanMeter to also be back there if you need.
But I mean, let's be real. Josh VanMeter, at least
catcher in the major leagues.
At least is below. We can probably define him as solidly below average.
There's no argument there. But the fact is, the reason you're saying it in this way is in a good light. Hey, listen, he's not garbage. He's solidly below average.
Solidly below average.
That is pathetic. That is our argument we're having right now. Is what guys actually can wear a Major League Baseball glove.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. VanMeter's awful.
Right. But he's just awful, guys.
He's just awful. These catchers, they have no business being in the major leagues. None.
Think about it. There was a reason that Michael Perez wasn't on the team to begin with. They said, Andrew Knapp, the worst catcher in baseball last year. We want you and not you, Michael Perez. And now he's your starting catcher.
I'm actually confused that they basically made an Andrew Knapp for Tyler Heineman swap. Andrew Knapp, I feel is a lot better.
And he's terrible.
Right.
He is terrible.
But he's gotta be better. I don't even know now. Honestly,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, he wasn't that good. We knew he wasn't.
He wasn't. He was really bad.
Right. And when he was it's understandable, but it's not this guy isn't it either. There's just not going to be a catcher this year. That's how we're rolling in 2022. The catching position is going to be a complete black hole. And here's the thing too that frustrates me is I don't even care that much offensively. What stood out about Perez was how well he worked with the staff. Honestly, especially in a year like this, the bat's just a bonus, So Perez isn't good defensively. I'm not sure about Heineman. I'm not sure about him so far yet, but we know Perez isn't. So you're just defensively, the pitching, you're just killing everything all around you with this catching tandem.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tyler
made such a great point about Reese McGuire. I never really thought about that, but it's I would die to have Reese McGuire on this team right now. Literally just fall over dead. Reese McGuire was a catcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2022.
I don't think I would die for Reese McGuire.
I would right catcher.
Now. But I would take him over the other 2 guys for sure. Yeah. All right. That was a tangent that we didn't mean to go on, I don't think. But
not at all, but
yeah.
It's 2020.
What happened to the positivity? Positivity. Roansy looked good. I think we got something there.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is,
the fast, I can't get over really just going. I keep going back to the fastball. It's such a good pitch. He's got it's. And what's crazy about it, like you think of like Mitch Keller in his fastball, because they're both like very similar velocities and things like that. But then like there's just something about Contreras's that makes it unhittable, right? Whereas Keller's gets mashed. It's just an interesting part about baseball that whatever he's doing, he's being deceptive with it. It's maybe got a little bit more, it does have more spin to it than Keller's. It is a great pitch. Actually, even Keller's spin rate is good. Who knows? I don't know what's going on with Mitch Keller, but his fastball sucks. and Contreras is awesome. So
doesn't like to throw it for strikes. So, but like to or able to, I should say.
It's frustrating. You have another pitcher who has similar stuff, and he just can't do anything with it. Whereas Contreras doing good stuff with it. So,
yeah.
I appreciate you, Roansy.
So much. I would die for you, Roansy. No,
I'll
go
back
with you.
To,
it's
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, and then going back to just like the frustrating part about this team is that we had to wait until now to see him do this. Like, why wasn't he making starts all year long? Like, he's clearly the best pitcher on this team.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's no one close. There's no one close to him.
I agree.
So I understand, like, okay, manipulate the service time enough to get him the extra year, right? I don't like it, but I guess I can like understand the logic, right? But like, what was he down there the other month for? While we were trotting out Bryce Wilson and Zach Thompson getting shelled, like,
listen,
I don't get it.
I can't say it enough. I've said my point over and over and over again. Like, you could have easily manipulated his service time this year in creative ways that looked like you weren't. Like, doing what they did was almost just outright, we're manipulating his service time. Because the excuse you gave about, like, he needed to get stretched out, there was no Pirates pitcher who was doing that in the majors. And you can get stretched out in the major. Like, it doesn't mean you have to go to the minors to do so. You could just do it here and be an asset to the team, Yeah. Because, and that's what I was going to go to about Roansy and how he's looking at such. I mean, it's still small sample for all of us, right? I mean, he hasn't put up a ton of innings to say, like, he's good and this is what it's going to be. But, right, like, every time he's gone out there, from his first start last year to the times in the bullpen coming out, right? Like, he's had some pretty big moments in those as well. Like, he's played the part. He looks the part. So, like, if I'm going to stamp anything on Roansy right now, I know he at least belongs. And it feels like he can definitely be a really good pitcher. Time will definitely tell here, but things are looking very positive for Roansy Contreras. But right, like I said, like, you could easily have just stretched him out in the major leagues. And then, again, come the All-Star break, you're going to have days off anyways, right? You're probably going to skip some starts. And you just say, listen, like, we're monitoring his innings, right? We're limiting him. We're going to send him down, give him a couple of weeks off, right? There you go. And, like, I personally, like, as a fan, as anyone, I could look and say, you know what, that kind of that's smart. That's a good idea. You should do that. As opposed to, like, now in the middle of April saying, oh, you dummies, you bums, you're just saving, money and such. And like you said, and the time came and went for him to come up, and he still was down there. But anyways, yes, I'm very, very positive about Roansy Contreras. I think he looks good because, kind of like with Brian Hayes, he hasn't looked that good. Like, these past two starts haven't been his peak stuff. And, like, look what he's still doing. And we know what he can look like at his peak stuff as well. So, like, once that all comes around, once he kind of gets settles in and stuff, again, I'm not going to throw out the word ace, but, like, he should be a very good pitcher. And that's a very good thing for Ben Cherington and the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So if we're going to positive, I'm going to throw something in here we didn't talk about beforehand. We'll keep it quick and light. But if we're going positive, and we're talking about pitching, because how much it is needed, I do just want to bring this up because when you look at the overall numbers, they're pedestrian. They're definitely better right now. But what are your thoughts on JT Brubaker? Because, like, especially after the last start, San Diego, where we shut them out, like, he has looked pretty damn competent. And this isn't just even really, like, of course he has back-to-back starts of 0 earned runs. The one before that was 4. But, like, when you look at the ones in between and such, even on the season, he's got a 4.15.
He struck out 10 batters that game.
Well, yes. And again, he has some pathetic defense behind him. But like, when you look at his overall season, it's a 4.15 ERA, which, by the way, like, for the 2022 Pittsburgh Pirates, that's pretty phenomenal. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, I was not expecting, if he was having that season right now, like, think about, like, we've kind of bashed, I won't say bashed, but throughout the season said, okay, Brubaker ain't it. But now look at this 4.15 ERA. Like, if he had that all season long, it's like, oh, this is like JT Brubaker is actually a decent starting pitcher. Maybe he can be a solid number 4, number 5. Like, when you take out the first 2 starts of the season, which I'll be at, like, okay, you're just using this information or whatever, but, like, he's got a 3.12 ERA since then.
Yeah.
He's looking more capable of being a starting pitcher. And I know it's small sample, and the small sample, like I said, we want to just arbitrarily throw out these 2 dates, and here's what he's doing. Like, I kind of get that. But he's throwing fastball, slider heavy right now. I'm not going to say, like, peak Chris Archer effect, but he's kind of playing like this little Chris Archer's game right now, where he's like just going off of 2 pitches, and the slider's like actually doing really well. It is JT Brubaker maybe a solid starting pitching.
I think it depends on, like, your definition of solid. I think he's certainly showing in that he's capable, right? He's showing that, like, you can put him out there and maybe not expect that he's going to get shelled. I'm still thinking, like, the ceiling, like, is a number 5. Like, if you're talking about like a good pitching staff, like, Brubaker could maybe be a number 5. He had a really good May, though. Yeah, I mean, can't really get around it. He pitched, let's see, 20. See, how many innings did he go in May? He pitched 27 in the 3rd innings, 2.63 earned run average, 29 strikeouts, 11 walks. So good May. Yeah, strung some solid starts together. I still, it's just like a matter of consistency, though. One just he still can't really go deep into games. He hasn't really shown that at all, like, in his major league career. He did get into the 7th against Colorado. I think that was the deepest he's ever gone in a game ever. He went 6 2/3 innings. So again, that's the profile of a number 5 starter, like someone who, you know, you just kind of hope gives you 5 to 6 innings and keeps you in the game. That's what he's been able to do for the most part since his first few outings there. Is there anything more to JT? Like, am I more intrigued in JT Brubaker now than I was a month ago? No. So I guess if that's if that's the ultimate question here, that it's like, what do you think about Brubaker? I have my opinion on him has not changed in the last month.
Mine's always changed like the last week. If I'm going to be honest. Yeah. Well, I guess, and here's why I want to say that. Because I liked the JT Brubaker all this time. Now, ultimately, I felt like he was going to be a reliever than anything where, like, I'll put it like the Chad Kuhl territory. Let me rephrase that, still think Chad Kuhl can be a fine rotation piece, but he could be a very, very good bullpen arm. And I've always felt like I've liked JT Brubaker. I think he could be a really, really good reliever, though. And, you know, last year, it was kind of intriguing, like what he did first half, you know, coming into this year and such. But like after so far, like this year, I've started to think and settle into, okay, he's not a rotation piece. Like, this is done. But now I feel like these 2 back-to-back starts, looking more into this, I'm like what? I don't know. What if he isn't? Like, that he's doing what he's doing right now, and he's doing things differently. Like I said, he's pretty much scratching. He's basically being sinker slider, which again is, and I'm calling him like Chris Archer, right? Like he's going like this Chris Archer method of like he has these really 2 good pitches right now because the sinker is really, really good, and his slider is really, really good right now, and he's just throwing those things. Yeah. And it's working even better for him. Like he's basically become a 2-pitch guy and has become better. So that's why I'm at this sense of intrigue again. Maybe my thoughts have changed because, okay, he's doing something different and it's really working. So now I want to sit back, put on my seatbelt and watch it like even further. What's this guy? Because this guy's a little bit different from the other guy and the results are there. So that's why, and again, I want to spread positivity. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. Maybe there is hope for JT Brubaker. Maybe there is a sign of Roansy Contreras and JT Brubaker in this rotation going forward. And at least that's 2 pieces the Pirates have solved. And they only need 5 more.
So the sinker's been good, right? The sinker's been a good pitch this year. And if you kind of look at him in the past, it never has been. So like the sinker's been a solid pitch for him. That's it though. Like is he capable of going out there and tossing some innings every now and then? Sure. But I already knew that.
Okay.
Like if you're relying on someone, let's say it's 2024. The Pirates actually somehow have pieced together a rotation. I am not to the point yet where I don't think Brubaker can be a part of that. Okay. So like, I still think Brubaker can be the 5th starter on the next good Pirates team. So I'm still there. Like he doesn't suck. I don't think he sucks. Mm-hmm. I think he's capable. And I mean, if you even look at this year, like he's on pace for 1.8 to 2 WAR, right? You get that out of your 5th starter, you're probably okay with that, right? You just he can't be more than that.
That's all fair.
Yeah. So like it do I think he could maybe be like a really good reliever? Maybe. Yeah. On a good team, Brubaker's probably either in the bullpen or a number 5 starter. Just for the Pirates right now, they need him to be a little bit more than that, and he's not, right? So yeah, I mean, I don't think Brubaker by any means is like when we were talking about DFA candidates at the end of the year, like Mitch Keller is in that territory. Like, do you even tender Mitch Keller next year? Brubaker's not there. Like JT Brubaker is going to be on the team next year.
That's fair to say. So like I have this little bit of a theory here, which is not a good theory. It's not a good idea, but let's get dumb. So it's the dead ball era again, basically, right? And Oscar Marine is trash. And and like the sinker makes sense again. So the Pirates should probably just go ahead and can Oscar Marine this upcoming offseason because for obvious reasons, right? Should we do like a tandem pitching coach? Like, let's bring back Ray and be like, listen, you're going to control the sinker ball guys. And let's bring this other guy who like is able to coach the other guys. And let's have like a co-tandem like pitching team. Because guys like JT Brubaker, you know what? Sinker probably helps. And let's do that. And let's have Ray coach him up. And then for guys like Roansy, stay away from Ray Searage. Don't talk to Ray Searage. Use this guy, whoever they get. Anyways, I'm just baffing off here. But yeah, we're kind of back. And Tyler, I think, has talked about this like 4 years ago. Started this. Like, let's start bringing back the sinker because eventually that's going to come back around. And I feel like we're there again.
To put it in perspective, JT Brubaker is tied. Like, the Statcast gives like a run value to pitches.
Yeah.
JT Brubaker's sinker is tied for the 11th best sinker in baseball. So
it's pretty damn good.
It's been a good pitch for him. And yeah, if you're looking across the board, like if we're talking about like, is the sinker back, right? There are certainly people out there who are throwing a lot of sinkers and having a lot of success. Our old friend Clay Holmes, obviously, probably the main guy there.
Yeah, thanks.
But if you look at the overall page, like you're still seeing four seamers be better than sinkers, like overall. But you're definitely not to the point where I feel like if you look back like 4 years ago, sinkers were borderline worthless pitches, right?
Oh yes.
And it's not like that it's not like that anymore. Like people who are throwing sinkers are getting outs with them, and there are good sinker ball pitchers right now, whereas before there weren't. So is the sinker back? Absolutely. I still think there's definitely a spot for four-seam fastballs, though, right? I think it just kind of depends on who you are and where what your command is like.
And that's what I was getting to. Like, it's still finding the right stuff for the right pitcher. And maybe this is JT Brubaker's profile. So let's bring Ray back to do those pitchers and keep Ray away from the ones that the four-seamer work really, really well with, like a Roansy Contreras.
I don't want Ray Searage near anybody at all.
Okay. But anyways, no, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, obviously for him, seems like this could be working for him. And let's just keep doing this. Just be that two-pitch guy, basically. Go out there and be Chris Archer light and find that success, hopefully. But I've liked it so far.
Before Chris Archer got real bad.
Yes. Yeah. Be in the middle. Like, be last half season of Chris Archer in Tampa.
Yeah.
When he was traded.
That works.
I would take that. Yeah. So anyways, all right, let's move forward because we got some more stuff to talk about. But we want to spread some positivity.
Do we have to? Like, do we even have to talk about this stuff?
Yes. we do, because Ben Cherington forces us to. Clearly, everyone right now has seen the change in the tone. Everything, we know exactly where we're going with this. So yeah, the positivity's gone. Here we go. Let's add it. You don't want to bring it up first?
Start with?
All right. So
I mean, there's a lot of different situations we could talk about here.
So let's just start off with this part. This team has no first baseman, like zero. Every person who basically could play it is on the injured list, right? So with that said, we know the Pirates needed a first baseman. There's a first baseman down in AAA doing fairly well. And Hoyt Park got the call. So Hoyt Park's on the major league team when you need some depth, you need some players. So let's just start with the Hoyt Park thing, because there's also another thing about the first base that we can talk about here in a second. But let's just start with Hoyt Park. Hoyt Park being the first decision made on who to call up. Who's batting, I think, off the top of my head, I think 230 in AAA since being set down. Now he's walking a ton, by the way, which is like basically giving him OPS and such. I think he's like a 25% or something like that. It's crazy. Like, that's something he's always 21%. Done. But he's walking crazy, but like he's batting 230. And they said, you know what? We're going to preach accountability. We're going to preach all kinds of stuff, player-centric, right? Like, you do your job, you will get promoted. So Hoyt Park, you've done a fantastic job after your demotion, batting 230. And there's nobody else in the minors who's doing well. You've earned the call-up, because apparently you can't get called up unless you earn it, is what we're hearing, right? Which is why other players aren't there, because they're not earning it. So Hoyt Park earned this promotion. And now he's the one playing in, Petco Park yesterday.
Yeah, this one was a little odd. Because really, I'm assuming when they made this prediction, they already had something in the works to address the first base position, which is why they didn't bring up somebody who's played one inning of first base in their entire professional career. But yeah, this is what this just, it's so frustrating because you hear the organization preach one thing and then they just completely do the opposite. And this is just another example of it, right? Once you're in AAA, you have the opportunity to earn a promotion based off your playing time and your, what you're doing there. And we now have our starting first baseman got hurt. Our backup first baseman got hurt. You have a prospect in AAA who we aren't necessarily super high on him collectively as a podcast, right?
No,
none of us
right.
are really super high on him because of the strikeout numbers. And it's just, you don't really see successful major league hitters with a profile like Mason Martin. But Mason Martin is playing well at AAA. He's hitting the ball despite the strikeout numbers, and the strikeout numbers have even gotten a little bit better, right, from where they were previously.
Yes.
Not really. But,
well, I'll put it this way: they were up until like 4 or 5 games ago, because he's been like a bad stretch again right now. But
he hit another home run yesterday, so he's 11 home runs on the year. A team that desperately needs power. He's, listen, because even with the strikeout numbers, he's been productive at AAA. 127 weighted runs created plus AAA, despite striking out a third of the time. My thing here is, first off, he's earned it. Like, you need a first baseman right now. He should be the guy to get called up. And maybe you even tell him, say, hey, you know what? Like, even let him know right beforehand, we're calling you up, but as soon as like Yoshi or Chavis is back, you're back down. Okay. But you know what? You've earned it. There's a spot for you. We're going to give you your opportunity right here. Right. He's deserved it. Right. Whereas Hoy Park has done nothing to deserve a promotion. He's slugging 289 in AAA. I don't understand it. It's basically like, you look at it and it's just the Pirates are blatantly trying to not put the best team on the field. Like, that's exactly what it feels like. And we've seen it over and over and over again, that they make these moves that don't make sense if you're talking about what's best for this team. Like, I don't get it. I mean, I do get it. I know what they're doing. But like, Mason Martin isn't someone you should be worried about like a super 2 with. Mason Martin, correct, is somebody like, and again, you don't necessarily, it's not like you have to be like, hey, Mason Martin, you're up. We need you to produce and hit the ground running. You are a new first baseman, right? We don't even need that. Like just be like, hey,
you're
Mason
not a
Martin,
playoff push.
We're gonna give you this opportunity for the next 2 weeks to play Major League Baseball. You've earned it. You've played great in AAA. We need a first baseman. You're a first baseman. Let's go have fun. Let's do this. And like, it would have been such an easy call up. I don't understand why they wouldn't have done it. And Tyler tweeted it out yesterday. Who Tyler never tweets, so it's one of those things. Like, when he tweets, you kind of listen to him, right? But like, the Pirates need to find out if Mason Martin is good. You're not really going to find that out in AAA. Like, with what we're seeing right now out of Mason Martin, it's exactly what we've seen his entire minor league career. He's hitting the ball hard. He's hitting the ball far, but he strikes out a lot. Mm-hmm. Like, boom. That's who he is. That's who he's always been. The question is, okay, does that play at the major league level? That's the question we need to answer. We've seen he can do this in AA and be productive. We've seen he can do it in AAA and be productive. Now we need to know if he can do this at the majors and be productive. And what's a better time to find that out than right now? Because at some point, you're going to have to put together a competent major league team. Maybe it's next year. Maybe it's the year after. I don't know. Maybe Ben Cherington is just going to rebuild forever. Who knows the answer to that question? But like at some point, you're going to have to say, okay, I want to put together a respectable product on the major league field. And you need to know if Mason Martin is a part of that. Like that's a big question to that roster decision is, okay, is Mason Martin going to be our first baseman, or do we need to go outside the organization and sign a free agent first baseman, which there are a plethora of who are better than anybody the Pirates have ever signed, it feels like. But there are a lot of first basemen out there that you could sign to a 1 or 2 year deal and they can be fine, right? But do we have to do that? Do we have somebody who's going to be good in the system? Answer that question. Like, you can use this year. It's not like Mason Martin. Like, Mason Martin turns 23 in 3 days. 2 days.
What a nice birthday gift that could have been too.
Yeah. Like, call him up and see if it works. Like, see if Mason Martin works. If he does, cool. You don't have to worry about getting a first baseman. You've got Mason Martin for the next 6-7 years. Cool. That's awesome. If it doesn't work, then you got to say, I guess I need to find a first baseman somehow. And this is the year to do it. Like, Mason Martin isn't learning anything new at AAA right now because he's still the same guy. Like, it's not like Mason Martin has changed.
Exactly.
Since he's hit AAA.
Yeah.
It's not like Mason Martin is going to change. Like, this is who he is. He's someone who hits the ball far, but he strikes out a lot. And that's not going to change. Not going to change at all. You just need to figure out, is he going to be able to hit the ball far enough times so that the strikeouts don't matter? That's the question. And you're not going to find the answer to that question with him sitting in AAA.
That's exactly what it is. 100% with you. We all know that we don't believe in Mason Martin's talents, and they will probably get exposed exponentially in the major leagues. And as much as I'm here touting, and you're touting, to have Mason Martin in the major leagues, it's really just to answer our question. It's not more or less like you have Mason Martin, and he's going to come up here, and he's going to bring life to the team. It's not. It's really just like there's a real big problem at first base. And there's really one guy who's capable of playing it, and it is Mason Martin. So for one, that solves your issue of who can play. Well, Mason Martin can. At least he can play the position.
Like we know when someone throws a ball to Mason Martin, he's going to have his foot on the base.
Yes, exactly. So that will happen. But then, like, on top of that, right, there is some intrigue. He is performing at AAA. And like you said, like, you have to find out if he's going to be part of this future or not. So when there is a true need, and when a guy's at his part of the season, like he has been performing, right? Why not bring it up now too? And that's, I think, the other thing that's like we miss out on. Just because you bring him up doesn't mean you have to stay. Like, it could be good to give him that taste of major league pitching, that taste of being there. He sees major league pitchers, right? He has a pretty nice 1 or 2 weeks being in there, and then Yoshi comes back and it's like, all right, come back down. Maybe you've seen that now there's maybe other things you can work on. Like, there's some things you can take away from just being here for a few weeks and going back down. That helps people. You know, and the biggest one you can talk about, which I'm not comparing, but like Mike Trout, like, he came up, he had a lot of failures, right? Goes back down, like, comes back next year, and then it's Mike Trout. And I'm not saying like Mason Martin needs this taste of the major leagues to go back down, work on things, and then come back and be like this major, first baseman who's out there hitting 50 home runs and batting 300. No, he's probably not going to make it. But like you're saying, you can at least bring him up now, reward him, do what you say you're doing, which is being a player-centric, organization, accountability. Like I said, I can't stress this. This irritates me now, this whole thing. This whole meeting that, Shelton had last week about accountability. It's like, well, where's yours? Like, where's the accountability on this organization? I'm hearing this message to the player, and I'm sorry. Once again, I'm just giving a big FU right back. Like, how dare you? Not that they didn't need to hear it, but damn you for telling me about accountability. What do you know about accountability? Do you see this roster? Do you see these decisions you're making? Why is this guy who's batting under 200 for pretty much all the season, playing every position out there, every chance he gets to be in the starting lineup, he gets in there, and you're talking to me about accountability, right? Accountability. Hoy Park goes down to the minors and isn't performing, and he gets called up and promoted. Meanwhile, Mason Martin, who can play first base, which is the position that you need right now, is mashing in AAA, and he's still there. Talk to me about accountability. Talk to me about player-centric. Talk to me about this stuff. And then here you are doing the complete opposite. So mind you, again, like the whole messaging is the biggest complaint I have in this organization with so much. It's not that if you want to argue O'Neal Cruz should be the minors or the majors or whatever right now. It's the message that is. It's what you've been preaching and what you're doing with him, right? And now it's going into Mason Martin territory. So yes, I want to see Mason Martin in the majors to find out what he is. But damn it, Jim, I spent some time yesterday in Fangraphs just looking at guys since 2000 who have struck out over 30% in the majors. And there's literally one guy who also did that in the minors. And it's Joey Gallo. Like, as much as you look at the big shot, like even Keon Broxton, you know, like all these guys struck out 30% in the minors. I'm sorry, in the majors, had like a 24, 25% K rate in the minors. Like, no one has done this. No one has struck out 33% of the times in the minors and has gone on to the majors and has found success basically outside of like Joey Gallo. Like, that's basically it. And I just, as much as I want to see him, I don't believe it's going to be anything, but find out. So that way, once September comes, you know this offseason, I need to plan on doing X or Y.
Yep.
Okay. You know who else is mashing in the minors?
Who else is mashing in the minors?
Oh, looking at my time, it looks like O'Neal Cruz is. Another home run yesterday, leadoff. He is just on a tear right now. And probably the best news Ben Cherington could ever receive is he was injured yesterday. Tweaked his ankle. So now, well, that's at least 2 more weeks of being in the minors. Right around that Super 2 deadline. By the way, before... No, never mind.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Sorry.
Keep going.
Yeah. So O'Neal Cruz is mashing in the minors. Just absolutely mashing right now.
Yeah, he had... well, he's currently in the middle of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game hitting streak. He's gotten hits in 11 out of his last 12 starts. 3 home runs last week. In his last 20 games, he has 6 home runs. He has a 152 weighted runs created plus in his last 20 games. He's slugging .549 with an OPS of 941. He is like all of his April woes, and people are talking about his April batting average and all this stuff. You know, his last 20 games, batting .280, 392 OBP, 549 slugging. He's erased that, right? He is now he's completely erased it. He's now like completely out of the hole that he dug. Just absolutely killing the ball. And yeah, he tweaks his ankle yesterday, but it was right. You know, not before though. He hits an opposite field home run to lead off the game, gets another hit. And you know, you bring it up, you've got Josh VanMeters playing every day, basically, at this point in the major leagues. You have someone playing shortstop who hasn't played shortstop in like 3 years. And we've already seen some, like we've seen some cool plays out of Castro, right? He's very athletic and, he's capable of doing some fun stuff, but you've also seen him mess up some routine stuff.
Right.
Like at this point, there's the only reason why they are leaving, why they're keeping Cruz down is Super 2. Like there's absolutely nothing more for Cruz to be doing in AAA. He's killing the ball. And again, like it's just so frustrating because you've got a major league team right now that is just starving for power, starving for it. Like they don't have it.
Jack Swinsky's still like second dog in home runs, right? And he's not even
we just
good.
talked about and we just talked about a first baseman who's not being given an opportunity, who has a lot of power. And now you've got a shortstop who's not being given the opportunity, who has a lot of power. Meanwhile, the Indianapolis Indians Twitter account is just having the time of their lives, just like making sure that everybody knows what Cruz and Martin are doing. And look who homered again. Look who did this again. Oh, look who just hit the ball 121 miles an hour. It was O'Neill Cruz again, right?
They're doing some good engagement farming, I will say.
It's so damn frustrating to watch pathetic baseball. And again, it's fun. It's one thing to watch pathetic baseball if there's like some interesting people, like they can at least keep you interested in the game. But like this team is so pathetic and so boring and so bad that there's only really like one person right now that I really care about, and it's Brian Hayes. Brian Reynolds doesn't even look like I don't even care about him right now. Like I'll let him deal with his shit. But like, give me someone to watch. Like, I want to, like, this is your entertainment product. Like, that's the thing that people need to realize. People who argue with me on Twitter about how this is the smart business decision. I don't give a shit about smart business decisions. A smart business decision would be to call up the exciting people that your fans want to watch, right? Call up the exciting people your fans want to watch so they can actually care about you and you can provide them the entertainment that you're supposed to be doing. And then, you know what? You can always just like you don't have to pay these people the minimum for 6 years, right? You can always just give them a contract extension like they did with Brian Hayes and say like, hey, we want to pay you money to play baseball here for years to come. That's what you can do. Like, that's not against the rules. So like if you have a player like O'Neill Cruz and you're worried about service time and Super 2 and all this stuff, you don't have to do it. Like, you don't have to worry about that at all. You can just be like, hey, you know what? You play good baseball. We want you to play good baseball for us. Here's money to do that. Please take it.
Right. And here's where you and I differ a little, okay? And the thing is, we come around to the same conclusion every time, though, right? I am more on the business side, and I don't mean business like dollars and cents, but like what's best for the organization. I don't care about the fans. Like, I'm more on that side. If I'm the GM, right? Honestly, I don't give any shits about the fans. Like, as a president, that's your job. As like the owner, that's your job. I'm here to build a baseball team. And if that means I'm not signing this guy because he's liked, I don't care. I need to make a good baseball team, okay? So I will side more to that. But the thing is, and this is why I'm pissed off and you're pissed off having the same mindsets, right? Because you creating this good baseball team have sent this message, and you creating this good baseball team is saying all these things, but yet you are doing all these. And that's why I'm pissed off, because you can do the smart baseball thing and the good fan thing, which is call up O'Neill Cruz, right? Because you've said all this stuff. He's checked off all the boxes coming into spring training. You started from day one and you say, listen, you go out there and do it. I got your back. I support you. You show me everything. I'm going to give you a call day one. Congratulations. And hopefully for me, I'm going to get rewarded by getting a draft pick. And then you know what's going to happen? Just everything you said right now that we talked about this, off season and heading into the season. He goes out there and he does well, or he doesn't do whatever, right? But you showed faith in him. You got his back. He has Rafa Nieves as his agent. He signed plenty of guys to extensions. You're the Pirates. You've done plenty of extensions already, right? Year 1, year 2, whatever it is, you lock him up. And again, none of that matters. But you know what? You had his back, and maybe he'll have yours come extension talk time. But you dicking around with him all this time, maybe he has second thoughts. So you did right. Now he does right. And you know what? You got a draft pick. You got him locked up. Like, everything worked out. The fans are happy and you're happy as the business side goes. That's how two things in synergy can work together. All that was a failure this year.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm O'Neal Cruz, I'm not taking any like hometown discounts if the team comes to me with an extension offer. Like, I mean, how he's got to be nearing Chris Bryan territory where he's like thinking about suing the team.
He's looking at his hand as it's a watch every time he hits a home around second base. If that's not telling you he's entering Chris Bryan territory.
He despises being in AAA right now. Like, you can just tell. Like, if you're watching an Indianapolis Indians game, and I'll turn it on. Like, I'll usually actually go to the game like when he's up, and he just has that look in him that like he hates where he's at. Like, and he's like, I'm going to just try to friggin' kill the baseball because this is stupid. I shouldn't be here. And then I mean, I really think that was kind of the first month was just him just being really, really frustrated. Mixture of that and maybe like cold weather. Like, he was going from Florida to Indianapolis. Like, I don't know what it could have been, but I mean, maybe he just started off a little cold, right? But like, he's now in full force. Like, this is O'Neal Cruz beast mode that we're seeing right now.
This is why he's a top 20 prospect in baseball.
This is why scouts love him, because he is just mashing the ball. Like, you gotta, like you said, we've seen Ben Cherington over and over and over and over again talk about rewarding players and giving them opportunities, and he is giving these opportunities to, like, Tucupita Marcano is getting called up. Tucupita Marcano, yeah, he had a really good 2 weeks in Altoona. Guess what he was doing in Altoona 2 weeks ago? He had a 68 weighted runs created plus, right? So, like, what's the difference between Marcano and Cruz? Why does Marcano get called up and Cruz doesn't?
Who also is only in Double-A.
Right. I can tell you why Marcano gets called up and Cruz doesn't. It's because Marcano isn't a top prospect, and they don't care about Tucupita Marcano's service time. They don't give a shit about Tucupita Marcano's service time because Tucupita Marcano isn't a part of this team's future in any meaningful way.
Right.
Whereas with O'Neal Cruz, who deserves the call up over Marcano, gets passed over for a guy in Double-A.
Yep.
And Hoy
Park.
And Hoy Park. Yeah. So just going back to this, it's just, you mentioned it, kind of saying one thing and doing another. I look at it more from, yeah, they're also doing that, but then at the same time, like, they're just, I don't know how, I don't know if there's ever been an organization, like, I follow baseball pretty closely around the majors, and like, there isn't another organization out there that just deliberately kicks their fans in the nuts more than the Pirates. Like, I get the Reds this year, like their team president was like, just said some of the worst public comments I've ever seen an MLB executive make. But the Reds historically haven't kicked their fans in the nuts as much as the Pirates fan. They're kicking them in the nuts right now, but like, the Pirates just do it constantly over and over and over again. And it's, you look at it, and this is why 7,000 people go to games, and you look at games on TV, and you can count them by the dozens, right? The attendance people, like the people in attendance. like the team who caused this. This isn't a Pittsburgh problem. This isn't a fan problem. This isn't Pittsburgh not being capable of supporting a major league team. We've seen it. We saw it in 2013, 14, 15. This city is completely capable of coming out in droves for this team. It's the team. It's the team doing it. Like, this is the team's fault. They have caused this. And they're making no efforts to amend that. You know, I mean, you're talking about the business side, not caring about the fans. Well, here's the problem with that. You have to care a little bit, because if you don't care, then they just stop showing up. And if they stop showing up, then you don't have a team. Like, the whole point of being a business is to stay in business, right? And make money.
Yes.
In order to do that, you have to have fans who want to see you and like you. And right now, the Pirates don't have that. I mean, we're a Pirates podcast. We're clearly like, and I'm not saying like we're like, yeah, we're insane people, but like, we pay a lot of attention to the Pirates, right? Our general attitude towards the team is not positive. Like, I despise what I see every night when I turn the Pirates on. It's the worst. I hate it, but I do it anyways, just because I'm an idiot.
Right.
But
and thank you for all you idiots watching.
I don't even know where I'm going with this, but the whole point is, like, yeah, do you build a team around your fans? Maybe not, but at some point you can't just repeatedly just kick them in the nuts over and over again. And that's what the Pirates are doing right now. And it's what they've been doing for a while. And it's getting tiresome. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. Like, there are some times where I would rather not watch the game and just do nothing. Like, I'll put on MLB The Show and play video games. And how many young people have done that now, where they just have decided, I'm not going to watch the Pirates. I'm going to go do something else. Like, this team honestly has a fan problem. And I don't know, like, I know winning cures this at times, but I don't know if we'll ever get back to like those 2013, 14, and 15 levels. Like, I think there are going to be some people who are they're gone forever. And that's a problem. Like, that's a business problem, right? And so I know it's, you want to build the best team and what's best for the organization, but sometimes what's best for the organization is to have fans.
I get it. And that's where we're at. We're not doing either right now. There's no point of winning. There's no will of wanting to win. So winning to cure everything isn't happening, right? They're not winning, so not bringing fans that way. And they're doing all these things that drives fans away from watching the games, right? Like you said, like, you can be bad, but if Oneil Cruz is there, you want to watch them, fans will watch. So you're going to be bad.
What's the difference? What's the difference right now between the Oakland Athletics and the Pittsburgh Pirates? Like, Oakland is on the brink of moving their franchise, right? You could probably say the only difference is PNC Park, right? Yep. Like, that's the only difference. But guess what also runs out in 8 years? The Pirates lease at PNC Park. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but like, the Pirates could totally move. Like, they could say, you know what? These fans aren't showing up anymore. We don't have a lease anymore. We need to go somewhere else. And that's not going to be the fans' fault. That's not going to be the city of Pittsburgh's fault. That's going to be the Pirates' fault.
Yes. Well, from the beginning of the show to now, I think definitely changed.
Do I think that'll happen? No.
Same. I agree.
Think that'll happen, but it could. Like, it could happen. And I feel like
MLB will fight that way more than they ever would for Tampa or Oakland. But it could be in that territory where there's discussion.
I agree. Yeah.
So, like, we've talked about Cruz, right? We talked about Martin, the issues there. They call Hoy Park. And again, so I think it was Mackey, right? Mackey was one that said it more or less, that, that they may look to acquire, like, bring someone in based on, it wasn't even Cherington. It was Steve at the presser. But anyways, so there was a trade that happened. Like you said, it was in the works. Probably that's why Hoyt Park was caught up and whatever. So the trade happens. So the Pirates get Yu Chang, right? Is that correct? Before I
Yu Chang
pop off, I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah. So the Pirates get Yu Chang from the Cleveland Guardians, who is a bad first baseman, as we all would expect.
I will say this: he actually plays the position very well. Like he is the middle infielder that like was converted to a corner infielder, and so he's got some good glove skills. He is a good defensive first baseman.
We'll give him that. So he can play first base. So already best first baseman on the team. But again, you pass over Mason Martin. You trade, so you give up an asset, which of course isn't anything, of course. But you trade and give up an asset to get Yu Chang from the Cleveland Guardians, who is another bad player. So this adds to the mix of guys who aren't good on your club when you could have had just Mason Martin call him up. But so mind you, by the way, too, a little bit of breaking news on the show. So the trade is official, and let's bring it up. So to add Yu Chang, the Pirates have officially designated Cole Tucker for assignment, which I think we all knew was happening, but it's official. Like I think it's something we all knew was happening, but until you saw it, you weren't going to believe it. And I've read it now 5 times to make sure. And Ethan said in the chat, so I'm not being deceived. Cole Tucker is designated for assignment.
That's pretty amazing that the person that pushes Cole Tucker off the roster is Yu Chang. That's just kind of like shows you how far Cole Tucker's fallen.
That's true.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, this happened 47 minutes ago. We've been on this show this whole time, so we missed it. But yeah, Cole Tucker DFA'd. Yu Chang officially acquired for cash. Interesting, very interesting. I mean, we definitely knew Cole Tucker's days were numbered. I mean, you can't continue to just show nothing for extended periods of time.
Which is also still doing in the minor leagues.
Yeah, I mean, he has options left, so that does kind of bring it to like, is there a team out there who wants to give him a shot and, you know, put him in AAA and give him some playing time and see if he can tap into it? Because I mean, there's no doubt about it. Like Cole Tucker, the athleticism's there, right? I mean, it's just he hasn't been able to hit, right? So is there a team out there that gives him another opportunity? I would think there is. Like, there's maybe a team out there who would say, yeah, you know what, Cole Tucker's maybe better than like our 6th middle infield option, and we'll give him a chance to get some at bats in AAA. I could see that potentially. I could also see him not getting claimed though and clearing waivers. I could see both situations, but that's interesting. So Cole Tucker era almost done in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, again, like the guy's a great guy. You know, like I wish him the best. I'm not happy in the sense of, oh, this guy's gone, get him out of here, run him out of the city type of thing. Yeah. But he's just not good. And I'm happy for finally like this team taking some direction and moving forward from him. It's had to take this long, but what I'm disappointed in is, why did it have to be Yu Chang? Why was it not Mason Martin that pushed him off? That would have made sense. Mason Martin clearly has to go in the 40-man, right? So like I can understand some decisions made because of the 40-man crunch. But you're bringing in Yu Chang. No. You could easily have just made that Mason Martin. Like, that could have been Mason Martin's way onto the 40-man right now. Cole Tucker being DFA'd, Mason Martin comes in, call it a day. But regardless, Yu Chang's here, not a good first baseman, adds to the pile of not good players on the major league team outside of Roansy, Bryan Hayes, Bednar, Crow, and Brian Reynolds. That's I think where the line's drawn in the sand is those players.
Yeah, I mean, Yu Chang is going to be a placeholder. I would imagine, honestly, that, I mean, unless he comes and he lights the world on fire, which we shouldn't anticipate that. But unless he does that, like he's on this roster for 2 weeks.
Yep. I'm with you.
Yeah. Because he has no options left either. So like you can't send Yu Chang down. Like if Yoshi is healthy, and even Yoshi's not good, but you're DFAing Yu Chang for Yoshi.
Yep. And that's how the trade was even acquired or made, because he was DFA'd by the Guardians. So Pirates said, "Oh, we'll take your trash."
But a little bit about Yu Chang. He's a right-handed hitter, which we don't have very many of those, honestly.
That's so crazy. I know.
Right-handed hitter. If there's one tiny thing to be a little bit intrigued about Yu Chang, he's got a little bit of pop. And I'm not saying he's good by any means, but like he hit 9 home runs last year in 251 plate appearances. He slugged .426. I don't think there's anybody who the Pirates played yesterday in their lineup who had a slugging percentage that high. I just want to say that.
Probably cut it in half.
So I do want to say that, but I mean, he doesn't get on base. He strikes out a lot. He really can't hit.
Yeah.
But he has a little bit of pop. That would be like the one thing I would say about him. And he can play first base. Like he can actually play the position. So don't expect him to be on this team very long. But here he is.
So that's pretty much just is what it is. And like, I understand that this is going to be temporary. I'm with you too. Like I'm not looking at this move as if the Pirates have gone and acquired this guy. He's just here because there was no first baseman. And once there's first baseman back, he'll be gone. So yes, it is temporary. But again, you could have easily done that with Mason Martin. Could have made it temporary, sent him back down, and then brought up here for good once Yoshi's eventually DFA'd as well. So again, like to me, this is much like the Josh VanMeters move, although at least there's a reason, because there truly isn't any corner infielders on this team right now that are healthy, whereas there's a plethora of middle infielders when Josh VanMeters was added. But like, this is just a non-needed move. You didn't have to make this move at all. You could have just simply called up Mason Martin, called it a day. He earned it, he deserves it, and he fills the position that you need. And instead, he made this trade outside of it, and it's going to have to make another transaction in 2 weeks that you didn't have to do with the other. So again, just frustrated with all these roster moves and how they're working things and what they're doing. But I guess if we're going to also wrap in some positivity, the call of O'Neal Cruz is inevitable. Like it's going to happen probably within 2 or 3 weeks, right? So like eventually we'll be done talking about this stuff and talking about O'Neal Cruz in the majors. So I can't wait for that. It's going to come at least soon.
You know what? I can't wait. I can't wait for O'Neal Cruz to play shortstop, have a few games under his belt, like, you know, a solid month or so. And the defensive metrics will like him.
Because people can actually see them like more readily, you know, to their exposure right now.
Yeah.
You know what? I also can't wait. I mean, listen, like Nolan Gorman's tearing up right now for the Cardinals, just, you know, getting called up right now. And of course, very, very small sample, but you know, as his time up here, he's tearing it up. We've talked about the rookie of the year. It's not, I mean, Mackenzie Gore's probably second. He's a pitcher, so that could easily be swayed shortly. I really, really pray to God, and I'm sorry, this is the cynical part of me, but I really want O'Neal Cruz to come up here and just tear it up and be in the rookie of the year talks. Like, I want him to screw it.
I would love it
to the Pirates.
I would
really do.
It would be, I would laugh hysterically. I want it to happen so bad. Like, I know I'm a Pirates fan, but right now they're pissing me off. And I want O'Neal Cruz to come up here and I want him to just light it up. Just light it up. And it's top 2, right? So if he can finish first or second in rookie of the year voting, he gets the full year of service time. So instead of having even 1 year, he's got like 1 year and 2 days worth of service time.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
So all of this stuff that the Pirates just did and put him through doesn't matter.
And you don't even get a draft pick out of it now, where you could have. I want him to be the catalyst in the change of this mindset for the next prospect that comes up instead of getting dicked around, Ben Cherington says, "You know what? I'm not getting cruised again. You're starting from day one." Because I want him, because he deserves it. He earns it. Get him that full year. And you guys just lost out on everything. Everything. So, yeah. And also, that would be good for the fan base. Like, if you had a guy in the running for Rookie of the Year in a year like this, that's going to be good for the Pirates fans.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So,
let's make it happen.
Any other words? Any other things you wanted to mention? I know you talk about Cal Mitchell. Oh my God! Don't ever make that mistake again, Anthony.
Real quick on Cal Mitchell. Hits in each of his first 4 starts. He's looked good. Yesterday he went 0-4. That was his first game without a hit, but he looks like a professional hitter up there. Looks like he belongs. You know, we talked about how like Sawinski looks like he belongs. Cal Mitchell even looks like he belongs more, I think. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, give me more Cal Mitchell.
I'm with it. Yeah. I'm with it. And again, that's like this sad state of affairs we're at, because we're talking about guys who just look like they belong, not so much performance. And that's with Sawinski. And this is like, we're not. And same with Cal Mitchell. Like, I don't think either of us are expecting Cal Mitchell or Jack Sawinski to be good everyday players. So, like, the ceiling, the expectations aren't that high, of course. But we're just at the point now where any prospect that gets called up, we're just craving that they look like they belong on a major league team. Not even that they're performing. They're not even performing, right. And we're happy for them.
Yep.
I mean, small sample, but Cal Mitchell has a 72 weighted runs created plus. Yeah. Jack Sawinski has a 79, and we're like, hey, yeah, it was more of these guys.
It was like 130 going into yesterday. So like the 0-4, you know, it did something to him. But yeah, no, I think Cal Mitchell has looked good so far. I guess my one knock would be the arm. His throwing has not looked good. But yeah, give me more Cal Mitchell. Let me see what we got there. I said that's what I want to see this year. Like, I want to give me the guys who could potentially help out down the road. Are they something? Like, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see Yu Chang. I want to see Mason Martin. I don't want to see Josh VanMeters. I want to see O'Neal Cruz. Like, these guys are ready for the major leagues. Just play them, and then you can determine whether or not they're a part of your future.
Yeah.
That's what this year should be about. That's what the rest of this year should be about.
Yep. And even less for you wanting to see Mason Martin and O'Neal Cruz. Like, they should be wanting to see Mason Martin and O'Neal Cruz. So time will come, hopefully sooner than later. And I guess in a few days, happy birthday, Mason Martin. Hope you enjoyed in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
All right.
Indianapolis is a good city. It's not, by the way.
All right. Well, now that Jim's jabbed the Indianapolis city and state of Indiana all together. All right. Are we going to get out of here then?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
See you guys.